This week's episode is also brought to you by Tamarac Garden, one of my absolute favorite small herbal remedy shops. They handcraft teas, tinctures, salves, and skincare from wild harvested herbs and weeds in the Pacific Northwest. The stuff God literally grows under our feet. Every product is non-toxic, family safe, and made with real edible ingredients to support your body inside and out. Visit tamaracgarden.com and use the code JackieEspada to get $10 off your order. Because nature already gave us everything we need to heal, and Tamarac Garden just bottles it beautifully. Hello, everybody. Good evening. Welcome back to Bible Study for Overthinkers. I am your host, Jackie Espada, and I hope that you guys are ready and excited for today's Bible study. I guess last we left off, we were just finishing up 12. Exodus 12 is the very last plague, I think. Let's see. Let me or jog my memory. I'm trying to also set up. I should have set this up ahead of time, but it's fine. All right. So Exodus, not Genesis. We already read that. Exodus 12. Oh, these are we're about to get into the instructions. I think we read the instructions for Passover last week. So yeah, it should be a fun time. We're gonna get into some good things, and of course, make sure if you're watching this live to hit that thumbs up. We will be live. Well, we are live currently on Rumble and YouTube, also X. We're also live. So make sure, if you guys don't mind, hit the thumbs up wherever you guys are watching. Let me know in the chat if you are, or if you're here, if you're with us. We're gonna have a good time. But last week when we had a Thursday show, we actually had a special guest on, and maybe I can get some more special guests as we keep going and reading through the Bible. But it's been fun, and of course, if you guys haven't already, make sure to shop our sponsors, Tamarac Garden. I'm actually expecting a package from Tamarac here in the next few days, and it should. I'm just blown away by how good all of her products are. And we'll get to one more sponsor, and then we'll get to the rest of the sponsors later in the show. But thank you guys for being here. Just wanted to let you guys know. I'm so excited to tell you about In His Word, a woman-owned, family-run Christian brand from the Pacific Northwest. 3 sisters and their moms started this business out of their kitchen, creating faith-based apparel and home goods designed to keep us rooted in God's Word. Every design is prayed over, crafted by hand, and made with the mission of helping you carry Scripture into your everyday life. Whether it's a bold reminder or something more subtle that keeps your heart steady, you can shop their collection at inhisword.us and use my code JackieEspada for $10 off orders over $70. That's inhisword.us. Faith you can wear and carry wherever you go. So thank you, In His Word, for, of course, sponsoring the show. And we see a lot of what is being read. Oh, thanks. Cam wanted me to show you guys this. So this is one of their products that they sent us. This is Blessed is the nation whose God is the Lord. This is a good one. And if you guys can shop that, they have hats, they have sweatshirts and all types of goodies for you to stock up on and wear loud and proud. Share with a friend. And yeah, In His Word. Make sure to shop their stuff, their goodies, and use my code JackieEspada. You get $10 off when you spend $70 or more. So make sure to do that. And of course, like I said, we'll get to the rest of the sponsors later in the show. And yeah, thank you guys for being here. We will jump right in. Why not? Let's go ahead and jump right in. Set up. Open my notes just in case. You never know. But yeah, we're going to start with Exodus chapter 12, but the end of chapter 12. I realize where we are now. So the end of chapter 12, Pharaoh basically was like, okay, you guys, I've had enough. You guys have killed the firstborn sons. I get it. Your God is the real deal. Please get out of here. I don't want to see stinking face anymore. So he sends them away and they start their journey. Except for not really. Because what we see is God actually giving Moses the actual instructions for the Passover. And then, of course, the Exodus as well. So, of course, like I said, Pharaoh was like, okay, you guys got to go. God promised them when they were getting ready to even leave and, preparing them for this grand Exodus that the Egyptians would be ultimately giving them the silver and gold off of their bodies and out of their possessions to basically get out of here. And so that's where we are. We see them, giving all of their different their their gold and silver and all their precious jewels to the Israelites as they're getting ready to leave. So now the next thing that we actually see is the Passover instruction. This is where we'll pick up is the actual Passover instruction. And excuse me as I'm rubbing in some of the soft disclosure tallow bar. And if you never used the soft disclosure tallow bar, it's fantastic. Highly recommend it. And you can actually use my code Jackie and get 10% off. So do that. It's good products, supporting many businesses along the way. So it's a great thing that you can do. So let's jump right in. We're gonna start with chapter 12, and this is verse 43 of Exodus. And like I said, this is the Passover instructions. So let me actually hello chat. I know that I haven't said hello to you yet. Hello to those friends in chat. Blessings to everyone. Thank you for being here. And if you have any questions as we go along, please feel free to drop them in the chat. I'm not a biblical scholar or theologian in any type of way, but I do try to kind of include you and see where your brain's at and where your questions are, because sometimes we figure things out together, and that's a really good thing. So like I said, let us get going. Chapter 12, verse, actually I knew what I was doing. I was getting this light so that I can see, because I am sort of blind. All right, I wasn't blind before, I'm blind now, that's for sure. Okay, so let's click this. That will work for now. Nope, doesn't. I'll just hold it. It's fine. All right, so chapter 12, verse 43. The Lord said to Moses and Aaron, "This is the statute of the Passover. No foreigner may eat it, but any slave a man has purchased may eat it after you have circumcised him. A temporary resident or hired worker may not eat the Passover. It is to be eaten in one house. You may not take any of the meat outside the house, and you may not break any of its bones. The whole community of Israel must celebrate it. If an alien resides among you and wants to observe the Lord's Passover, every male in his household must be circumcised, and then he may participate. He will become like a native of the land, but no uncircumcised person may eat it. The same law will apply to both the native and the alien who resides among you." So again, God is giving specific instructions. He's not letting you second guess anything. He really is going to be super detail oriented and make sure that you know exactly what's going to happen and when it's going to happen. So that's a nice thing. All right, chapter 12, verse 50. Then all the Israelites did this. They did just as the Lord had commanded Moses and Aaron. On that same day, the Lord brought the Israelites out of the land of Egypt according to their military divisions. So this is where we are. Now we're on chapter 13. And of course, like you can see in the title, we're going to go all the way up to chapter 24 if time permits. If we, get too many questions, or we get too into discussion and we end up going over time, then we'll only do the however far we go. But as of right now, We're projected to get all the way to 24. To answer Siggy 2012's question in the chat, is the storm going to hit you guys? Yes, it is supposed to hit us. It is. It's not supposed to be as bad in other places. We are predicted to get a lot of ice, is what's predicted for us. So we could get power outages and all of that because they're predicting right now a quarter of an inch to half an inch of ice here in Georgia, in specifically in our area. So we should hopefully be okay. We hopefully won't lose power or anything like that. But please pray for us in this area because it is going to be kind of dicey. We don't know obviously what's going to happen until the weather actually gets here. But they're predicting a lot of ice in this area, and it makes sense because the temperature fluctuates, and it's been fluctuating so much. Like during the day, it'll get up into the 50s, mid up until like almost the mid 50s, low 60s some days. And then and that by nighttime it's freezing again. So it's a fluctuation back and forth, and hoping that the storm isn't going to hit us as badly as we think it is. But anyways, let's continue. Chapter 13. The Lord said to Moses, "Consecrate every firstborn male to me, the firstborn from every womb among the Israelites, both man and domestic animal, it is mine." Then Moses said to the people, "Remember this day when you came out of Egypt, out of the place of slavery. For the Lord brought you out of here by the strength of his hand. Nothing leavened may be eaten. Today, in the month of Abib, you are going out. When the Lord brings you into the land of the Canaanites, Hittites, Amorites, Hivites, and Jebusites, which he swore to your ancestors that he would give you, a land flowing with milk and honey. You must carry out this ceremony in this month. For 7 days you must eat unleavened bread, and on the seventh day there is to be a festival to the Lord. Unleavened bread is to be eaten for those 7 days. Nothing leavened may be found among you, and no yeast may be found among you in all your territory. On that day, explain to your son, this is because of what the Lord did for me when I came out of Egypt. Let it serve as a sign for you on your hand and as a reminder on your forehead, so that the Lord's instruction may be in your mouth. For the Lord brought you out of Egypt with a strong hand. Keep this statute at its appointment time from year to year. When the Lord brings you into the land of Canaanites, and actually, before I continue, I wanted to kind of bring this up. Obviously, if you guys have been watching Healing Unmuted or anything like that, you guys kind of know that I've been on a sourdough journey. This is week. This will be my second full week of actually attempting to get a starter active and hopefully bake with it. And I I decided that today would be the day that I attempted to make some dough, and it is I don't know if I can do this. And this all like spikes from the whole leavened unleavened bread situation that we were just talking about. Leavened bread is very temperamental. And oh man, I have had like because our house fluctuates. It's pretty cold right now, but it fluctuates because obviously the heater will turn on and off and all of that, but it consistently stays pretty cold. Um, but I've been trying to ferment this dough all day. And hold on, I'll go grab it for you guys so that you can see it. 'Cause it's now working. It's not working. All right, this is one actually, you know what? I lie. This it's just because it's taking forever, and I'm not used to having to take forever. This is actually it's looking really nice now. This is this is this you can't see it because it's covered, and I don't want to take the cover off because it's so cold in here. But I jump started this with some heat, and now it's rising. It's doing a thing, and I'm super excited about it. Let me go get the other one because there's two. There's two loaves that I'm trying to make. One from the starter from upstairs, which is warmer and has been doubling consistently. This one's downstairs, and this one is colder. So we're trying to see what we're gonna do. But this one's actually doing something now, and I'm pretty proud of her. This one I don't know. Maybe it's doubling now. Probably needs some more heat. This one was wet. This one was wet when and it was very sticky for the most part today. Um for a second I thought that she was overproofed, but I don't think that's the case. I just think that she needed some more food. So, hopefully once this show is over, I'll be able to proof them, like shape them and put them in cold proof them. If not, then we're making focaccia. So, hopefully it tastes good. Okay. Back back to reading Exodus. And the reason I brought that up again is because um leavened bread and unleavened bread, I really didn't think about it until I started doing sourdough. Uh, it really is a process, and I would assume that back then they were doing, ancient practices, so using yeast and making sourdough and all of that. I assume that's what they were doing. But man, it is a full-time job to try to keep up with this sourdough. And I can understand why God was like, "You guys don't have the time, and I want you to actually rest and show me reverence because you guys are going to be on the move." So that's yeah. He wants rest, and sourdough is very much the excuse me opposite of that. But let's continue. Let's continue. Okay, so chapter 13, verse 11 is where we are at. And it starts like this. Okay, when the Lord brings you into the land of the Canaanites, as he swore to you and your ancestors, and gives it to you, you are to present to the Lord every firstborn male of the womb. All firstborn offspring of the livestock you own that are males will be the Lord's. You must redeem every firstborn of a donkey with a flock animal, but if you do not redeem it, break its neck. However, you must redeem every firstborn among your sons. In the future, when your son asks you, "What does this mean?" say to him, "By the strength of his hand, the Lord brought us out of Egypt, out of the place of slavery. When Pharaoh stubbornly refused to let us go, the Lord killed every firstborn male in the land of Egypt, both the firstborn of humans and the firstborn of livestock. That is why I sacrifice to the Lord all the firstborn of the womb that are males, but I redeem all the firstborn of my sons. So let it be a sign on your hand and a symbol on your forehead, for the Lord brought us out of Egypt by the strength of his hand." So again, that's God saying, don't ever forget this, kind of like he sent the rainbow in Genesis as a reminder. So letting you guys know, don't ever forget, continue to celebrate me and honor me and worship me and acknowledge the fact that I did this for you. In return, I need you to like do the thing. So, yeah. All right. So, the route of the Exodus. When Pharaoh let the people go, God did not let them along the route or did not lead them along the route to the land of the Philistines, even though it was nearby. For God said, "The people will change their minds and return to Egypt if they face war." So he led the people around toward the Red Sea along the road of the wilderness, and the Israelites left the land of Egypt in battle formation. Moses took the bones of Joseph with him. Remember, that's the covenant thing that we were talking about, that God said that he needed to take Joseph when he passed away. He said to his ancestors, he said, "Look, when you guys leave and you guys are taken to the promised land, I need you to take my bones with you and take them with you." So this is Moses. He kept his faith and he kept his word, and he's now taking Joseph's bones with him because Joseph had made the Israelites swear a solemn oath, saying, "God will certainly come to your aid. Then you must take my bones with you from this place." They set out from Succoth and camped at Etham at the edge of the wilderness. The Lord went ahead of them in a pillar of cloud to lead them on their way during the day, and in a pillar of fire to guide them light or give them light at night, so that they could travel day or night. The pillar of cloud by day and the pillar of fire by night never left its place in front of the people. So that's a beautiful sign. Again, God is staying visible. He's showing them the way. He's showing them and leading them where they need to go. He does that with us. If you asked him for a sign and asked him to be like, "Hey God, I need you to show me what I need to do, where I need to go, just give me a sign." He will absolutely do that for you. And that's a beautiful thing. All right, now we are in chapter 14, which we're gonna this first part finishes up the root of the Exodus, and then I'll pause once we reach the next section. So chapter 14, GT Racer. Let me see. Cam, if you're listening, can you let me know if I'm cutting in and out? Someone in the YouTube feed said that I'm cutting in and out and they can't hear me. So if you don't mind, Cam, please let me know if that's on my end or if that is on their end and they need to refresh. That'd be great. Thank you. And before I continue, I will wait to hear a response. Cam, if you are listening. So, he said, "No, I'm good." Maybe it is your side. I think on Rumble right now, it seems like everything is good on Rumble. So you may need to refresh and see if it may be your browser. So thank you, Cam, for letting me know that I'm good. But yes, maybe it is you. Okay, let's continue. Chapter 14. Like I said, the beginning of chapter 14 is a continuation of what we were just talking about. So then the Lord said to Moses, "Tell the Israelites to turn back and camp in front of Pi-Hahireth between Migdol and the sea. You must camp in front of Baal Zephon, facing it by the sea. Pharaoh will say of the Israelites, they are wandering around the land in confusion. The wilderness has boxed them in. I will harden Pharaoh's heart so that he will pursue them. Then I will receive glory by means of Pharaoh and all his army, and all the Egyptians will know that I am the Lord." So the Israelites did this. And so that's a strategic pause. Strategic pause for everyone to just kind of realize, like, this is not for nothing. I'm not just going to leave you out high and dry. I'm actually, like, I'm doing this for a reason. And the reason is this. We will see this now. So yeah, the Egyptian pursuit. So when the king of Egypt was told that the people had fled, Pharaoh and his officials changed their minds about the people and said, "What have we done? We have released Israel from serving us." So he got his chariot ready and took his troops with him. He took 600 of the best chariots and all the best of the chariots of Egypt with officers in each one. The Lord hardened the heart of Pharaoh, king of Egypt, and he pursued the Israelites, who were going out defiantly. The Egyptians, all Pharaoh's horses and chariots, were horsemen, and his army chased after them and caught up with them as they camped by the sea beside Pi Hahireth, in front of Baal Zephon. As Pharaoh approached, the Israelites looked up, and there were the Egyptians coming after them. The Israelites were terrified and cried out to the Lord for help. They said to Moses, "Is it because there are no graves in Egypt that you have taken us away to die in the wilderness? What have you done to keep us, or what have you done by bringing us out of Egypt? Isn't this what we told you in Egypt? Leave us alone so that we may serve the Egyptians. It would have been better for us to serve the Egyptians than to die in the wilderness." So that's fear. Fear shows up, and fear is going to change how you react to what's actually going on. God tells you to be faithful. God tells you to trust me, to follow me. I will lead you. I will show you the way. And fear steps in and is like, we have to do the complete opposite thing and turn on whoever it is that's trying to lead us and who is actually speaking for us. All right, chapter 14, verse 13. But Moses said to the people, "Don't be afraid. Stand firm and see the Lord's salvation that he will accomplish for you today. For the Egyptians you see today, you will never see again. The Lord will fight for you, and you must be quiet." So again, a reminder that God is fighting for you, and he's there for you, and he will make sure that all of your enemies and your people who are coming out to try to destroy you will be defeated. And he does that for each and every one of his people. That's again a beautiful thing. So escape through the Red Sea. The Lord said to Moses, "Why are you crying out to me? Tell the Israelites to break camp. As for you, lift up your staff, stretch out your hand over the sea, and divide it so that the Israelites can go through the sea on dry ground. As for me, I am going to harden the hearts of the Egyptians so that they will go in after them, and I will receive glory by means of Pharaoh, all his army, and his chariots and horsemen." The The Egyptians will know that I am the Lord when I receive glory through Pharaoh, his chariots, and his horsemen." Then the angel of God who was going in front of the Israelite forces moved and went behind them. The pillar of cloud moved from in front of them and stood behind them. If it came between the Egyptian and the Israelite forces. There was cloud and darkness. It lit up the night, and neither group came near the other all night long. So again, God's going to always got your back. He's going to provide protection when you need it. He's going to keep you safe. It again is a beautiful thing. Then Moses stretched out his hand over the sea. So again, he literally kept them safe, kept them separated. And then Moses stretched out his hand over the sea. The Lord drove the sea back with a powerful east wind all that night and turned the sea into dry land. So the waters were divided, and the Israelites went through the sea on dry ground, with the waters like a wall to them on their right and their left. The Egyptians set out in pursuit, all Pharaoh's horses, his chariots, and his horsemen, and went into the sea after them. During excuse me, during the morning watch, the Lord looked down at the Egyptian forces from the pillar of fire and cloud and threw the Egyptian forces into confusion. He caused their chariots' wheels to swerve and made them drive with difficulty. "Let's get away from Israel," the Egyptians said, "because the Lord is fighting for them against Egypt." Then the Lord said to Moses, "Stretch out your hand over the sea so that the water may come back on the Egyptians, on their chariots and horsemen." So Moses stretched out his hand over the sea, and at daybreak the sea returned to its normal depth. While the Egyptians were trying to escape from it, the Lord threw them into the sea. The water came back and covered the chariots and horsemen, plus the entire army of Pharaoh that had gone after them into the sea. Not even one survived. What? Just imagine that. So did you guys like the number of chariots that Pharaoh initially called out for was 600. And then on top of that, I don't remember if was it one person per chariot, or let's see. So he took 600 of the best chariots and all of the rest of the chariots of Egypt with officers in each one. So we don't again, there's at least one person in each of these chariots, and there's 600 of them. That means 600 people. That's an entire army gone. The threat is completely ended. God said, "No, these are my people. I am going to take them out, whether you like it or not. These are my people." That's crazy to think about. Just an entire army gone. Crazy. All right, let's finish out chapter 14. But the Israelites had walked through the sea on dry ground, with the waters like a wall to them on their right and their left. That day the Lord saved Israel from the power of the Egyptians, and Israel saw the Egyptians dead on the seashore. When Israel saw the great power that the Lord used against the Egyptians, the people feared the Lord and believed in him and in his servant Moses. I mean, it let's be real. If we were at wit's end, we literally had the option to die in the water or die by the hand of Pharaoh and go back into captivity. But my guess is that they were probably just going to come out and just kill them all. And God said, "But wait, there's more." Opens up the seas, lets them walk by, completely unscathed. I I can't imagine that. Like that would blow my mind, and in the best way possible. Make me a believer for sure. If I wasn't a believer, I would be a total believer. And it's funny you say if it's funny I say that because in this next chapter is a whole song that Israel wrote and was singing and praising God because of what he did for them. And that's all he's really asking for. He's asking for us to be obedient. When he says jump, you jump, and B, to also praise him and give him thanks for the things that he continues to do for us, even when we don't ask for him. That's all he's asking for. So yeah. Speaking of people, hello chat. See you guys there. Magatheo says total joy being here and being blessed by you reading the word. Thank you, Miss Jackie. Thank you, Magatheo, for being here. And Amber, good to see you. Glad you're here. She said, "Good evening, everyone. Good evening to you, Amber. So that glad that you're here and that you were having a good time together. Hopefully, I'm having a good time. We're reading all about uh we're reading in Exodus. We are about to start chapter 15 of Exodus, and I'm just gonna take a quick drink break. Probably need to get some more water. Uh Probably should have filled up beforehand, but it's fine. I'll drink enough. All right, chapter 15. And actually, what I do want to do is kind of pull in the parting, like the parting of the Red Sea, what that could have looked like. Oh, I was talking about this movie with Cam recently. Um, The Prince of Egypt. How many of you guys like seen that? Cuz it's pretty cool to have to think about the I haven't seen The Prince of Egypt and the parting of the Red Sea in that movie, even though it was a cartoon. Really well done. And yeah, I love that movie. So if you guys haven't seen that movie, I highly suggest it to people. It's a good one. And in fact, I was trying to look for it online somewhere, like maybe one of the Netflixes or Hulus or whatever to see if I could find it because I haven't seen that movie in so long, and I really want to see it. And I think like Amazon has it. I think I'd have to purchase it, obviously, like rent it or buy it. Um, oh, wait a second, I could rent it from the library because I do have a library card, and that's a good thing. Like I have I have seen well, I have read a lot of books because of the library. I just it wasn't until last year, late last year, that I finally got Kindle Unlimited because I was reading so many books and they gave me a good deal. It was like 90 it was a dollar for like 3 months or something. So I did it and I didn't have to. I would read like 30 plus books a year, if not more, like 30 to 50 books a year. And that was all for free through the Libby app, which is connected to your library card. So that's something that you guys, if you guys didn't know, and they do have, if you have a library card, they a lot of libraries have DVDs and CDs, and I think some of them even have VHSs still. So it's a good resource to have. That is technically, I guess, part of your taxes for your local governments, something like that. I don't know. If anybody knows where the money comes from for library funding, let me know. But yeah, anyways, chapter 15. Chapter 15 is Israel's song. Israel's song is basically, they got out, they walked through the Red Sea. Their enemy is now defeated. They don't have anything to worry about except for where they're going to go next. So this is Israel, and here we go. This is a song. Then Moses and the Israelites sang this song to the Lord. They said, "I will sing to the Lord, for he is highly exalted. He has thrown the horse and its rider into the sea. The Lord is my strength and my song. He has become my salvation. This is my God, and I will praise him. My father's God, and I will exalt him. The Lord is a warrior. The Lord is his name. He threw Pharaoh's chariots and his army into the sea. The elites of his officers were drowned in the Red Sea. The floods covered them. They sank to the depths like a stone. Lord, your right hand is glorious in its power. Lord, your right hand shattered the enemy. You overthrew your adversaries by your great majesty. You unleashed your burning wrath. It consumed me like stubble. The water heaped up at the blast from your nostrils. The currents stood firm like a dam. The watery depths congealed in the heart of the sea. The enemy said, I will pursue, I will overtake, I will divide the spoil. My desire will be gratified at their expense. I will draw my sword, but my hand will destroy them. But you blew with your breath, and the sea covered them. They sank like lead in the mighty waters. Like Lord, who is like you among the gods? Who is like you, glorious in holiness, revered with praises, performing wonders? You stretched out your right hand, and the earth swallowed them. With your faithful love, you will lead the people you have redeemed. You will guide them to your holy dwelling with your strength. When the peoples hear, they will shudder. Anguish will seize the inhabitants of Philistia. Then the chiefs of Edom will be terrified. Trembling will seize the leaders of Moab. All the inhabitants of Canaan will panic. Terror and dread will fall on them. They will be as still as stone because of your powerful arm until your people pass by, Lord, until the people whom you purchased pass by. You will bring them in and plant them on the mountain of your possession. Lord, you have prepared the place for your dwelling. Lord, your hands have established the sanctuary. The Lord will reign forever and ever. When Pharaoh's horses with his chariots and horsemen went into the sea, the Lord brought the water of the sea back over them. But the Israelites walked through the sea on dry ground. Then the prophetess Miriam, Aaron's sister, took a tambourine in her hand, and all the women came out following her with tambourines and dancing. Miriam sang to them, "Sing to the Lord, for he is highly exalted. He has thrown to the horse and its rider into the sea." So, isn't that just like I that's such a I love the poems and the songs that are all in the Bible because they're just so beautiful. They have such depth and emotion, and it just I feel like my words could never compare to what like the way that they are praising him in the Bible. And I feel like that's been a hang up for a lot of people is they think that the Bible is this perfect thing and we have to follow it word for word. And if we're not praying the prayer the certain way and doing things a certain way, then we're not worthy. We're not able to be in the Lord's sight. And honestly, that is the biggest load of baloney. That is the biggest lie that was ever told is that we need to be perfect. And that's kind of why I started this Bible study is, yes, I'm reading the word and I'm messing it up. Trust me, I am. I know I am. I'm not a perfect human. I don't read perfectly. I don't know all the translations and I don't know all the theology or anything like that, but we're learning together. We're trying to figure it out. And I think that's the type of faith that God is asking from us. Is he's asking for just the immediate yes. He's asking for the immediate yes when he says be obedient and he asks for something and just going and doing it. That's the biggest thing and I feel like we're doing that. So kudos to you chat for showing up show after show and if this is your first time, welcome. I'm glad you're here. And if this is not your first time, I'm glad you're here too because obviously some of us just need Jesus more. And that's okay because he wants us more. And that's should be more than enough. But anyways, let's finish chapter 15. Chapter 15 is now water provided. So then Moses led Israel on from the Red Sea and they went out to the wilderness of Shur. They journeyed for 3 days in the wilderness without finding water. Things are about to get a little dicey. That you have food, you have water, everybody's happy. When things start to get scarce, that's when trouble starts to come in. They came to Marah, but they could not drink the water of Marah because it was bitter. That is why it was called Marah. The people grumbled to Moses, "What are we going to drink?" So he cried out to the Lord, and the Lord showed him a tree. When he threw it on into the water, the water became drinkable. So again, God's providing. And honeymoon is over. Honeymoon is over now. People are fighting, people are arguing, and God again is like, "You guys want water? Say less. I got water for you. Here you go. I'm going to provide for you." So the Lord made a statute, an ordinance for them at Marah, and he tested them there. He said, "If you will carefully obey the Lord your God, do what is right in his sight, pay attention to his commands, and keep all his statutes, I will not inflict any illnesses on you that I inflicted on the Egyptians, for I am the Lord who heals you." Then they came to Elim, or Elim, I don't know how to say it, where there were 12 springs and 70 date palms, but they camped there for the water. So the resting spot, 12 springs. Again, God provides. He's going to always provide. In the middle of an oasis, he's going to provide. Well, in the middle of the desert, he's going to provide an oasis. That's what I meant. In Siggy 2012, I never chat, but I love spending my Thursdays with you all. I'm so glad. I love having you here, Siggy 2012. It is an absolute honor, and I'm glad that you get to spend your Thursdays with us. But anyways, this is such a fun time. And now you thought that God was providing with the water. Imagine him literally providing food for you every single day, just sprinkling it outside your door step. And that's quite literally what he's about to do for the Israelites, which is kind of cool. So now chapter 16 is where we're at. Chapter 16 is manna and quail provided. The entire Israelite community departed from Elim and came to the wilderness of Sin, which is between Elim and Sinai on the 15th day of the second month after they had left the land of Egypt. And if you don't remember, what God said was after like the first day of when he was talking to Moses, when they were about to be sent out, it was going to be a brand new month so that they would know that, every time during this month at this time, this is when you're going to be celebrating the festival of unleavened bread and Passover and all of that. So that's why it is important that, and for time wise, for just timeline wise, that he says that it is the 7th or the 15th day of the second month after they left the land of Egypt. So that is where we are. Amber said, lift him up, set the world on fire. It doesn't take much theology. Just lift him up for the world to see. Love that. So lyrics from the Christian rock band Petra. Yeah, 100%. It doesn't take much. Just lift him up. I love that. Just the simple word of uttering his name is more than enough. It's a cool thing to be able to serve the God that we serve. It really is. And if you have never given your life to Jesus, today can be the perfect opportunity for you to do that. And all you have to do is just say, God, I accept you into my life, and and I accept you as my Lord and Savior, and I repent of all of my sins. That's literally can be as simple as that. And he will always be there for you. So, yeah. Anyways, let's get into chapter 16. Where was I? Okay, so the entire Israelite community grumbled against Moses and Aaron in the wilderness. The Israelites said to them, if only we had died by dramatic. If only we had died by the Lord's hand in the land of Egypt when we sat by pots of meat and ate all the bread we wanted. Instead, you brought us into this wilderness to make this whole assembly die of hunger. Oh my God. Selective memory. So dramatic. Didn't they just realize that they were literally dying to death because they were slaves being pushed to the brink of death often? But, they want to sit here and say, "Oh my God, you brought us all the way out here just for us to die." Oh my God. Drama. Then the Lord said to Moses, I am going to rain bread from heaven for you. The people are to go out each day and gather enough for that day. This way I will test them to see whether or not they will follow my instructions. On the sixth day, when they prepare what they bring in, it will be twice as much as they gather on other days. So daily trust, and of course, building in that buffer for a rest period too. So Moses and Aaron said to all the Israelites, this evening you will know that it was the Lord who brought you out of the land of Egypt, and in the morning you will see the Lord's glory because he has heard your complaints about him. For who are we that you complain about us? Moses continued. The Lord will give you the meat to eat this evening and all the bread you want in the morning, for he has heard the complaints that you are raising against him. Who are we? Your complaints are not against us, but against the Lord. Then Moses told Aaron, "Say to the entire Israelite community, 'Come before the Lord, for he has heard your complaints.'" As Aaron was speaking for the entire Israelite community, they turned toward the wilderness, and there in a cloud, the Lord's glory appeared. So he's still listening. He's not just like letting you guys go. The Lord spoke to Moses, "I have heard the complaints of the Israelites. Tell them, at twilight you will eat meat, and in the morning you will eat bread until you are full. Then you will know that I am the Lord your God." So at the evening, quail came and covered the camp. In the morning, there was a layer of dew all over the camp. Then, when the layers of dew evaporated, there were fine flakes on the desert surface, as fine as frost on the ground. When the Israelites saw it, they asked one another, "What is it?" because they didn't know what it was. Moses told them, "It is the bread the Lord has given you to eat. This is what the Lord has commanded. Gather as much as each person needs to eat. You may take 2 quarts per individual, or an omer." That's for those people in other translations. If you're reading a different translation, it's also called an omer, or 2 quarts per individual, according to the number of people each of you has in his tent. So the Israelites did this. Some gathered a lot, some gathered a little. When they measured by its quarts, the person who gathered a lot had no surplus, and the person who gathered a little had no shortage. Each gathered as much as he needed to eat. Moses said to them, "No one is to let any of it remain until morning." But they didn't listen to Moses. Some people left part of it until morning, and it bred worms and stank. Therefore, Moses was angry with them. So, enough is enough. Don't try to overdo it. God's going to provide. Like he said, you just got to trust him every single day. He's going to give you something. You just got to, again, trust and just wait for him to actually give it to you. They gathered it every morning. Each gathered as much as he needed to eat. But when the sun grew hot, it melted. On the 6th day, they gathered twice as much food, 4 quarts apiece. And all the leaders of the community came and reported this to Moses. He told them, "This is what the Lord has said. Tomorrow is a day of complete rest, a holy Sabbath to the Lord. Bake what you want to bake and boil what you want to boil, and set aside everything left over to keep until morning." So they set it aside until morning as Moses commanded, and it didn't stink or have maggots in it. "Eat it today," Moses said, "because today is a Sabbath to the Lord. Today you won't find any in the field. For 6 days you will gather it, but on the 7th day the Sabbath will be there. Excuse me. Today you won't find any in the field. For 6 days you will gather it, but on the 7th day, the Sabbath, there will be none." There we go. Nailed it. All right. Yet on the 7th day, some of the people went out to gather, but they did not find any. Then the Lord said to Moses, "How long will you refuse to give my commands and instructions? Understand that the Lord has given you the Sabbath. Therefore, on the 6th day, he will give you 2 days' worth of bread. Each of you stay where you are. No one is to leave this place on the 7th day." So the people rested on the 7th day. Again, built in rest. We have talked about this time and time again. He wants us to rest. He doesn't want us to keep going and push through and hustle and all that. That is not God's design. He built in a day of rest, even when he was working. Why do we feel like we are so above having rest and letting God have his moment? All right, the house of Israel named the substance manna. It resembled coriander seed, was white, and tasted like wafers made with honey. Moses said, "This is what the Lord has commanded. 2 quarts of it are to be preserved throughout your generations, so that they may see the bread I fed you in the wilderness when I brought you out of the land of Egypt." Moses told Aaron, "Take a container and put 2 quarts, or again, an omer, of manna in it. Then place it before the Lord to be preserved throughout your generations. As the Lord commanded Moses, Aaron placed it before the testimony to be preserved. The Israelites ate manna for 40 years until they came to an inhabited land. They ate manna until they reached the border of the land of Canaan. They used a measure called an omer, which held 2 quarts. So again, they eventually told us what an omer was, but that is what an omer is. I wonder if I know that they said that they kept two, like they kept an omer of the manna. Is that still preserved somewhere? So is the omer of where's the omer of manna today? Oh, ho, ho, that's why. Okay, so the jar containing the omer, or 1 day's portion of manna, was placed in the Ark of the Covenant, which was lost. So, mm, that's what happened to it. It's been lost with the Ark of the Covenant. Speaking of which, we will get to that eventually. I'm not quite sure if we'll get to that today exactly, but Ark of the Covenant is in this book. And the other thing I wanted to see was what does mana look like? Oh. Oh. Is there a video? Oh, no. That's not a video. I was looking to see if what it's a 14-minute video. We're not watching that. Um, but yeah, this is bread from heaven. What does manna look like? Ew. Wait, it actually looks kind of gross. Okay. Actually, it doesn't look kind of gross. Here, let's look. So you guys can see it yourself. You guys be the judge. Okay. So here, obviously we have this is what it looks like. That looks just like regular stuff. Hmm. This one. Oh, manna finds a place on restaurant menus. This was published in 2010. Interesting. If anybody knows what manna looks like, hmm, interesting. Obviously, we would never know unless we asked God when we saw him. What does manna look like? Because I have never seen it, and obviously the omer that was supposed to be in the Ark of the Covenant may never be found. So there's that. Nothing wrong with that, I guess. Or is there? All right, let's continue on. We are on chapter 17 now. This is Water from the Rock, is what this section is first titled. Actually, yeah, first titled. All right, chapter 17. The entire Israelite community left the wilderness of Sin, moving from one place to the next according to the Lord's command. They camped at Rephidim, but there was no water for the people to drink. So the people complained to Moses, "Give us water to drink." "Why are you complaining to me?" Moses replied to them. "Why are you testing the Lord?" But the people thirsted there for water and grumbled against Moses. They said, "Why do you ever bring us up from Egypt to kill us and our children and our livestock with thirst?" Then Moses cried out to the Lord, "What should I do with these people? In a little while they will stone me." The Lord answered Moses, "Go on ahead of the people and take some of the elders of Israel with you. Take the staff you struck the Nile with in your hand and go. I am going to stand there in front of you on the rock at Horeb. When you hit the rock, water will come out of it and the people will drink." Moses did this in the sight of the elders of Israel. He named the place Massa and Meribah because the Israelites complained and because they tested the Lord, saying, "Is the Lord among us or not?" So, yeah, so testing is Massa and Meribah is quarreling. And that's what the Hebrew translations of those mean, I think. Yeah, water from the rock. God will make a way every single time, like I said. But don't test him, you know? Don't test him. He's trying to test you for a reason. Instead of asking questions, just go and do the thing, you know? All right, the Amalekites attack. At Rephidim, Amalek came and fought against Israel. And for those who are keeping track of the genealogy, that is the grandson of Esau. He comes from Esau's line. Moses said to Joshua, "Select some men for us and go fight against Amalek. Tomorrow I will stand on the hilltop with God's staff in my hand." Joshua did as Moses had told him and fought against Amalek, while Moses, Aaron, and Hur went up to the top of the hill. While Moses held up his hand, Israel prevailed, but whenever he put his hand down, Amalek prevailed. When Moses' hands grew heavy, they took a stone and put it under him, and he sat down on it. When then Aaron and Hur supported his hands, one on one side and one on the other, so that his hands remained steady until the sun went down. So Joshua defeated Amalek and his army with the sword. And that right there shows you that you cannot fight every battle and expect to win on your own. You cannot do it alone ever, whether it be relying on a friend or a family member to help you get through something or relying on God. You can never do it alone. You always have to depend on him. And I think that's this little story, at least this part of the story is a great reminder of that. So thank you, Moses and Joshua and there. Okay, so the Lord said to Moses, "Write this down on a scroll as a reminder and recite it to Joshua. I will completely blot out the memory of Amalek under heaven." And Moses built an altar and named it. "The Lord is my banner," he said. "Indeed, my head is lifted up toward the Lord's throne. The Lord will be at war with Amalek from generation to generation." So Yahweh Nisi is the Lord is my banner. That's the name of that. And again, God leads every single battle, and he's going to help and lead the fight every single time. All right, let's continue. Chapter 18, Jethro's visit. Moses' father-in-law Jethro, the priest of Midian, heard about everything that God had done for Moses and for God's people Israel when the Lord brought Israel out of Egypt. Now Jethro, Moses' father-in-law, had taken in Zipporah, Moses' wife, after he had sent her back, along with her 2 sons, one of whom was named Gershon, because Moses had said, "I had been a resident alien in a foreign land," and the other, Eleazar, because he had said, "The God of my father was my helper and rescued me from Pharaoh's sword." Moses' father-in-law Jethro, along with Moses' wife and sons, came to him in the wilderness where he was camped at the mountain of God. He sent word to Moses, "I, your father-in-law Jethro, am coming to you with your wife and her 2 sons." So Moses went out to meet his father-in-law, bowed down, and then kissed him. They asked each other how they had been and went into the tent. Moses recounted to his father-in-law all that the Lord had done to Pharaoh and the Egyptians for Israel's sake, all the hardships that confronted them on the way, and how the Lord rescued them. Jethro rejoiced over all the good things the Lord had done for Israel when he rescued them from the power of the Egyptians. "Blessed be the Lord," Jethro exclaimed, "who rescued you from the power of Egypt and from the power of Pharaoh. He has rescued the people from under the power of Egypt. Now I know that the Lord is greater than all gods, because he did wonders when the Egyptians acted arrogantly against Israel." Then Jethro, Moses' father-in-law, brought a burnt offering and sacrifices to God. And Aaron came in with all the elders of Israel to eat a meal with Moses' father-in-law in God's presence. The next day, Moses sat down to judge the people, and they stood around Moses from morning until evening. When Moses' father-in-law saw everything he was doing for them, he asked, "What is this you're doing for the people? Why are you alone sitting as judge while all the people stand around you from morning until evening?" So, I mean, Moses is basically setting himself up to get burnt out real quick. And speaking of burnout, this is kind of the reason why I have decided to put Healing Unmuted on hiatus for a little while. If you guys didn't hear the announcement yesterday, Healing Unmuted is going on my show, Healing Unmuted on Wednesdays, is going on hiatus. So we needed to do that just because I've been doing it. It's time for me to give myself space to be able to rest. And this is going to allow me to do that. But in its place, Cam and I will be doing a show together. So Wednesdays at 2 p.m. Eastern, probably, we will be doing a show together. It's all going to be good news. No, like regular political news or anything like that. Good news reports, wholesome stories, feel good videos, just to kind of lighten up your day just a little bit. So that'll be coming here at the beginning of February. Make sure to stay tuned to our social media and you'll get all the updates. Um, Jess Coke just stopped in to say hi, and she will watch later. Praise report. God is so good. Hubby fell this morning. Oh my God. I'm so sorry he fell. Holding his running chainsaw. Holy cow. Needed 5 stitches in his knee, but it could have been so much worse. I'm so glad that he is okay. I hope that he is able to make a full recovery. That it sounds like quite the accident. Wow, that I'm so glad that he is okay. That's what that's crazy. Um, but yeah, Jess, we will definitely be continuing to pray for your husband because that is scary. And for you too, because I can only imagine the trauma that comes with you experiencing and having to deal with that. So prayers out for you guys for sure. Before we continue, I wanted to get to an ad real quick. Um, all right. I'm just pulling this up real quick. Okay, still haven't tried 1775 coffee. Now's your shot. The 1775 starter kit just dropped only 1,000 units. You're getting the bold, dark roast that hits hard, the smooth, medium roast, and the vitality mushroom coffee for clean energy and laser focus, no crash. All single origin, small batch, toxin free, and mold free. Plus, you're also getting a gold spoon clip because freedom isn't scooped with plastic, a frother strong enough to stir up your coffee and your mother in law's opinions, and a black 1775 tumbler. $175 worth of coffee and gear, yours for $99. This is for the ones who have been watching 1775 blow up on Rumble, wondering if it's actually worth it. Spoiler, it is. Go to 1775coffee.com/studio and grab your starter kit because they're gone. Let me repeat that. Go to 1775coffee.com/studio and grab your starter kit before they're gone. Bold beans, clean fuel, and a morning routine that stands for something just like Rumble does. So thank you, 1775 Coffee, for sponsoring this episode. And thank you guys. Yeah. Prayers for Jess. That's wild. Completely crazy. Anyways, this there's a lot going on here in this chapter. I mean, like I said, Moses is about to burn out. If he continues to keep doing this whole judge thing on his own and, being there from morning to night, not only has he not seen his wife and kids and been around them for not very long, he's been missing out. He's been on the wilderness, trying to save his people. And now he's just coming back and fully just pushing himself back into work and is like, actually, God wants me to keep doing this. He wants me to keep judging. And his father-in-law is like, dude, you don't have to do that. But anyways, Moses replied to his father-in-law, because the people come to me to inquire of God. Whenever they have a dispute, it comes to me, and I make a decision between one man and another. I teach them God's statutes and laws. So again, remember, just in the last chapter, God used Aaron, Moses, and Joshua, and I think Hur. They were all together and they needed each other to help each other. Again, proving that you can't do it all alone. Same thing here. When what you're doing is not good, Moses' father-in-law said to him. You will certainly wear out both yourself and these people who are with you because the task is too heavy for you. You cannot do it alone. Again, a reminder, you cannot do it alone. Now, listen to me. I will give you some advice and God be with you. You be the one to represent the people before God and bring their cases to him. Instruct them about the statutes and laws and teach them the way to live and what they must do. But you should select from all the people able men, God-fearing, trustworthy, and hating dishonest prophet. Dishonest prophet. Place them over the people as commanders and of thousands, hundreds, fifties, and tens. They should judge the people at all times. Then they can bring you every major case, but judge every minor case themselves. In this way, you will lighten your load, and they will bear it with you. If you do this, and God so directs you, you will be able to endure, and also all those people will be able to go home satisfied. So what he's asking, delegation is not weakness. It's wisdom. It's okay to delegate. Actually it's encouraged to delegate. It how you're able to help the load, share the load. I mean, when you are a pallbearer for a casket, it's more than one person. You are not bearing the load all on your own. And that's kind of what God is asking here too. He wants you to team up with people. He wants you to connect with other people. That's why he made other people. If it was supposed to be a one person world, that would be it. But God's not asking for that. He wants us to work together in community, in harmony. All right, Moses listened to his father in law and did everything he said. So Moses chose able men from all Israel and made them leaders over the people, as commanders of thousands, hundreds, fifties, and tens. They judged the people at all times. They would bring the hard cases to Moses, but they would judge every minor case themselves. Moses let his father in law go, and he journeyed to his own land. So that's where we are. Now we're delegating. Delegating is a good thing. If this is the nudge that you need to go and delegate something, then let this be your sign to do that. All right, let's continue. Chapter 19. Israel at Sinai. In the third month from the very day the Israelites left the land of Egypt, they came to the Sinai wilderness. They traveled from Rephidim, came to the Sinai wilderness, and camped in the wilderness. Israel camped there in front of the mountain. Moses went up to the mountain of God, and the Lord called to him from the mountain. This is what you must say to the house of Jacob and explain to the Israelites. You have seen what I did to the Egyptians and how I carried you on eagle's wings and brought you to myself. Now, if you will carefully listen to me and keep my covenant, you will be my own possession out of all the peoples, although the whole earth is mine, and you will be my kingdom of priests and my holy nation. These are the words that you are to say to the Israelites. So they were saved for something. This is not, he didn't bring you out for nothing. After Moses came back, he summoned the elders of the people and set before them all these words that the Lord had commanded him. Then all the people responded together, We will do all that the Lord has spoken. So Moses brought the people's words back to the Lord. So a bold promise that they're going to do what he said or what he's asking of them. The Lord said to Moses, I am going to come to you in a dense cloud, so that the people will hear when I speak with you and will always believe you. Moses reported the people's words to the Lord, and the Lord told Moses, Go to the people and consecrate them today and tomorrow. They must wash their clothes and be prepared by the third day, for on the third day the Lord will come down on Mount Sinai in the sight of all the people. Put boundaries for the people all around the mountain and say, Be careful that you don't go up on the mountain or touch its base. Anyone who touches the mountain must be put to death. No hand may touch him. Instead, he must be stoned or shot with arrows and not live. Whether animal or human, when the ram's horn sounds a long blast, they may go up to the mountain. So again, laying out specific instructions. Then Moses came down from the mountain to the people and consecrated them, and they washed their clothes. He said to the people, Be prepared by the third day. Do not have sexual relations with women. On the third day, when morning came, there was thunder and lightning, a thick cloud on the mountain, and a very loud blast from a ram's horn, so that all the people in the city shuddered. Then Moses brought the people out of the camp to meet God, and they stood at the foot of the mountain. Mount Sinai was completely enveloped in smoke because the Lord came down on it in fire. Its smoke went up like the smoke of a furnace, and the whole mountain shook violently. And the sound of the ram's horn grew louder and louder. Moses spoke, and God answered him in the thunder. So this is not like a casual, like, hey guys, I'm here. This is a, hey guys, I'm here kind of thing. Like making it loud and proud, like making it known, like, I am God. Fear me, you people. This is who I am. The Lord came to Mount Sinai at the top of the mountain. Then the Lord summoned Moses to come down. Wait. The Lord summoned Moses to the top of the mountain, and he went up. The Lord directed Moses, "Go down and warn the people not to break through to see the Lord. Otherwise, many of them will die. Even the priests who come near the Lord must consecrate themselves, or the Lord will break out in anger against them." So respect the boundary. Nobody, not just anybody can come up here. Moses responded to the Lord, "The people cannot come up Mount Sinai since you warned us. Put a boundary around the mountain and consecrate it." And the Lord replied to him, "Go down and come back with Aaron. But the priests and the people must not break through to come up to the Lord, or he will break out in anger against them." So Moses went down to the people and told them. So again, God's being very specific. He said, Moses and Aaron, that's all I want to see. Those are the only two people. Anybody else comes up here, dead. Instantly, dead. And he's maybe not dead, but he'd be very angry with them. So maybe don't do that, you know? Just a warning. Okay, we are getting into the 10 Commandments now. This is Exodus chapter 20. If you are just joining us, or if you joined us late or anything like that, make sure to hit that thumbs up if you guys haven't already. Thank you. Also, repost this to other people, other places. We are live on YouTube as well, so if you guys are on YouTube, feel free to like the show. And actually, what I'll do is I will throw the YouTube feed in the chat of Rumble, so that you guys don't mind going over there real quick and hitting that thumbs up there too. And we, like I said, are going to jump into chapter 20 of Exodus. This is the 10 Commandments. So I know that these will be familiar to a lot of you guys. Then God spoke all these words. "I am the Lord your God who brought you out of the land of Egypt, out of the place of summary." So, reminder first. Number 1, do not have other gods besides me. Number 2, do not make an idol for yourself, whether in the shape of anything in the heavens above, or on the earth below, or in the waters under the earth. Do not bow and worship to them, and do not serve them. For I, the Lord your God, am a jealous God, bringing the consequences of the father's iniquity on the children to the 3rd and 4th generations of those who hate me, but showing faithful love to 1,000 generations of those who love me and keep my commands. That's number 2. Don't make an idol. Number 3, do not misuse the name of the Lord your God, because the Lord will not leave anyone unpunished who misuses his name. So don't take the Lord's name in vain. Number 4, remember the Sabbath day to keep it holy. You are to labor 6 days and do all your work, but the 7th day is a Sabbath to the Lord your God. You must not do any work. You, your son or daughter, your male or female servant, your livestock, or the resident alien who is within your city gates. For the Lord made the heavens and the earth, the sea and everything in them in 6 days. Then he rested on the 7th day. Therefore the Lord blessed the Sabbath day and declared it holy. So those first 4 are more, who God is to us. And now this is how we should be treating others. So this is how we should be treating others. So this is number 5, honor your father and your mother so that you may have a long life in the land that the Lord your God is giving you. Number 6, do not murder. Number 7, do not commit adultery. Number 8, do not steal. Number 9, do not give false testimony against your neighbor. And number 10, do not covet your neighbor's house. Do not covet your neighbor's wife, your male or female servant, his ox or donkey, or anything that belongs to your neighbor. Those are the 10 commandments that God is asking of us. The people's reaction. All the people witnessed the thunder and lightning, the sound of the ram's horn, and the mountains surrounded by smoke. When the people saw it, they trembled and stood at a distance. "You speak to us, and we will listen," they said to Moses, "but don't let God speak to us, or we will die." Moses responded to the people, "Don't be afraid, for God has come to test you so that you will fear him and will not sin." And the people remained standing at a distance as Moses approached the total darkness where God was. So this is the fear versus trust division. So, How much do you fear me? Are you going to fear me enough to be, to follow these commandments, or are you going to trust me and know that I'm going to be okay? That we're in this together, you know? All right, let's continue. Chapter 21 of Exodus. So we are in Exodus today. We started with chapter 13. We are going to chapter 24. We are now on chapter 21. So we wait. No, actually, we're not on chapter 21 yet. We're still on chapter 20. We're on chapter 20, verse 22. So Moses receives additional laws. Then the Lord told Moses, "This is what you are to say to the Israelites. You have seen that I have spoken to you from earth. Do not make gods of silver to rival me. Do not make gods of gold for yourselves. Make an earthen altar for me and sacrifice on it your burnt offerings and fellowship offerings, your flocks and herds. I will come to you and bless you in every place where I cause my name to be remembered. If you make a stone altar to me, do not build it out of cut stones. If you use your chisel on it, you will defile it. Do not go up to my altar on steps so that your nakedness is not exposed on it." So no spectacle. This is the first thing. Make an altar. And I think maybe I don't think it's today that we'll get into the altar because that's the tabernacle. Actually, yeah, we won't get into the tabernacle today. That'll be Sunday's stuff. And what I'll do is I'll bring visuals so that we can kind of see what the tabernacle, based on the descriptions that is in the Bible, kind of tells us what it looks like. So I'll bring visuals. It's been interesting. I've been digging into it a little bit, and it's pretty interesting for sure. Especially since there's so much detail. Like, he tells you exactly how to do it. I mean, he did it in Genesis with the ark, told Noah exactly, these are the measurements, this is how you're going to do it. And it was with him the entire way from start to finish to make sure that he got the job done. So great. Again, this is a common theme with God, is that he's not going to leave you alone. He's not going to make you figure it out on your own unless it is a test. But eventually he comes and he gives you the signs. He gives you the nudges here and there to let you know, like, you're on the right path. You're good. You're doing well. So yeah. All right, now we are on chapter 21. And I think chapter 21, 2 and 3, 3. Yeah, chapter 21, chapter 22, chapter 23, all 3 of 4 of those chapters. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, 3, I don't know. Though however many chapters that is. I think it's 3. I can't do math for some reason right now. It's fine. But yeah, those 3 chapters, these are all God speaking to Moses, saying, "These are the laws. These are the commandments that I want you to follow." You know, these are, and it's interesting that the way that he brought this out. So we'll start with the laws of slaves, and this I thought was very interesting. And even I have some questions as far as how this kind of translates into modern slave times. So let's start reading. So chapter 21. These are the ordinances that you were to set before them. When you buy a Hebrew slave, he is to serve for 6 years. Then in the seventh, he is to leave as a free man without paying anything. If he arrives alone, he is to leave alone. If he arrives with a wife, his wife is to leave with him. If his master gives him a wife and she bears him sons or daughters, the wife and her children belong to her master, and the man must leave alone. But if the slave declares, "I love my master, my wife, and my children, I don't I do not want to leave as a free man," his master is to bring him to the judges and then bring him to the door or doorpost. His master will pierce his ear with an awl, and he will serve his master for life. So that is where I have questions, because obviously slaves are not disposable. There's limits that exist. But what does that mean for modern day slave owners? Like, obviously, the slave owners that we had nowadays, obviously, like laws are different and all of that. Jesus had already come and died on the cross. So, you know, w- I don't get it. Obviously, it's just different time periods and all of that, but supposedly these slave owners in the time period here in the US at least, those people were supposedly God-fearing people and all of that, and you would think that they would know the Old Testament, and yet they still were like, "No, slaves, we got to keep them forever. We can kill them." Basically, like they're our property forever, not the 6 years and then let them go on the seventh year thing. I don't know. That doesn't really sit well with me. But anyways, we're not done with the laws about slaves. So let's continue. When a man sells his daughter as a concubine, she is not to leave as the male slaves do. If she is displeasing to her master who chose her for himself, then he must let her be redeemed. He has no right to sell her to foreigners because he has acted treacherously toward her. Or if he chooses her for his son, he must deal with her according to the customary treatment of the daughters. If he takes an additional wife, he must not reduce the food, clothing, or marital rights of the first wife. If he does not do these three things for her, she may leave free of charge without any payment. So those are all of the laws about slaves. All right, let's get into the laws about personal injury. Whoever strikes a person so that he dies must be put to death. But if he did not intend any harm, and yet God allowed it to happen, I will appoint a place for you where he may flee. If a person schemes and willfully acts against his neighbor to murder him, you must take him from my altar to be put to death. So very intentional here. Intent matters. There, if you just killed to be a killer, then you're gonna be put to death. But if you like didn't mean to do it and someone dies, then you're just gonna be cast out. Whoever strikes his father or his mother must be put to death. Okay? Whoever kidnaps a person must be put to death, whether he sells him or the person is found in his possession. Whoever curses his father or his mother must be put to death. When men quarrel and one strikes the other with a stick or his fist, and the injured man does not die but is confined to bed, if he can later get up and walk around outside leaning on his staff, then the man who struck him will be exempt from punishment. Nevertheless, he must pay for his lost work time and provide for his complete recovery. Well, that's fair. It seems fair, I think. When a man strikes his male or female slave with a rod and the slave dies under his abuse, the owner must be punished. However, if the slave can stand up after a day or two, the owner should not be punished because he is his owner's property. All right? When men get in a fight and hit a pregnant woman so that her children are born prematurely, but there is no injury, the one who hit her must be fined as the woman's husband demands from him, and he must pay according to judicial assessment. If there is an injury, then you must give life for life, eye for eye, tooth for tooth, hand for hand, foot for foot, burn for burn, bruise for bruise, wound for wound. When a man strikes the eye of his male or female slave and destroys it, he must let the slave go free in compensation for his eye. If he knocks out the tooth of his male or female slave, he must let the slave go free in compensation for his tooth. That's that's uh that's pretty crazy, if you ask me. Strikes the eye and you get his tooth? Oh wait, no, 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 sorry. I was mixing the two. I was mixing the two. It says when the man strikes the eye and destroys it, he must let the slave go free in compensation. Got it. If he knocks out the tooth, he must let the slave go. Okay. So if he knocks out his tooth, or what, I wonder if he knocks out like a finger, would he have to let him go? Interesting. So yeah, accountability. Take accountability for your actions is basically what it sounds like. When an ox gores a man or a woman to death, the ox must be stoned, and its meat may not be eaten. But the ox's owner is innocent. However, if the ox was in the habitat of goring and his owner has been warned yet does not restrain it, and it kills a man or woman, the ox must be stoned, and its owner must be put to death. Yikes! If instead a ransom is demanded of him, he can pay a redemption price for his life in the full amount demanded from him. If it gores a son or daughter, he is to be dealt with according to the same law. If the ox gores a male or female slave, he must give 30 shekels of silver to the slave's master, and the ox must be stoned. So, I guess slaves were only 30 shekels. What it sounds like. Slaves were only 30 shekels worth of life. Okay? When a man uncovers a pit or digs a pit and does not cover it, and an ox or donkey falls into it, the owner of the pit must give compensation. He must pay to its owner, but the dead animal will become his. When a man's ox injures his neighbor's ox and it dies, they must sell the live ox and or divide its proceeds. They must also divide the dead animal. If, however, it is known that the ox was in the habit of goring, yet its owner has not restrained it, he must compensate fully. Ox for ox, the dead animal will become his. So that is all it's about personal injury. Personal injury and oxes, apparently. I don't understand. Like, do we not have other rules for not oxen? Like, do we have rules for horses or dogs? I I guess not, because they don't say anything about those animals. It's just the ox. Okay. All right. Chapter 22: Laws about theft. When a man steals an ox, there's that ox again, or a sheep and butchers it or sells it, he must repay 5 cattle for the ox or 4 sheep for the sheep. If a thief is caught in the act of breaking in and he is beaten to death, no one is guilty of bloodshed. But if this happens after sunrise, the householder is guilty of bloodshed. A man must make full restitution. If he is unable, he is to be sold because of his theft. If what was stolen, whether ox, donkey, or sheep, is actually found alive in his possession, he must repay double. Okay. So don't steal. Also, don't retaliate, it sounds like. Don't retaliate, just, restore what was originally lost. All right, laws about crop protection. When a man lets a field or vineyard be grazed in and then allows his animals to go and graze in someone else's field, he must repay with the best of his own field or vineyard. When a fire gets out of control, spreads to the thorn bushes, and consumes stacks of cut grain, standing grain, or a field, the one who started the fire must make full restitution for what was burned. That seems fair. That seems really fair to me, if I'm being honest. Laws about personal property. When a man gives his neighbor valuables or goods to keep, but they are stolen from that person's house, the thief, if caught, must repay double. If the thief is not caught, the owner of the house must present himself to the judges to determine whether or not he has taken his neighbor's property. In any case of wrongdoing involving an ox, a donkey, a sheep, a garment, or anything else lost, and someone claims, "That's mine," the case between the two parties is to come before the judges. The one that judges condemn must repay double to his neighbor. When a man gives his neighbor a donkey, an ox, a sheep, or any other animal to care for, but it dies, is injured, or is stolen, while no one is watching, there must be an oath before the Lord between the two of them to determine whether or not he has taken his neighbor's property. Its owner must accept the oath, and the other man does not have to make restitution. But if, in fact, the animal was stolen from his custody, he must make restitution to its owner. If it was actually torn apart by a wild animal, he is to bring it as evidence. He does not have to make restitution for the torn carcass. When a man borrows an animal from his neighbor and it is injured or dies, while its owner is not there with it, the man must make full restitution. If its owner is there with it, the man does not have to make restitution. If it was rented, the loss is covered by its rental price. So again, these just are a bunch of rules and laws that God is feeding to Moses for humanity, for civilization, to basically show them, these are I will let you guys live in harmony as long as you kind of follow these rules a little bit. But also, this makes it, I feel, more uniform for all of the judges that are being appointed to help Moses with the judging of society. So I think this makes it, have it written down in this way, makes it so that people can follow the rules, and the judges can then make more clear assessments on what's going on in the day to day, just judging stuff. All right, now we are on chapter 22, verse 14. Laws about seduction. If a man seduces a virgin who is not engaged and he sleeps with her, he must certainly pay the bridal price for her to be his wife. If her father absolutely refuses to give her to him, he must pay an amount in silver equal to the bridal price for virgins. So, don't do it, basically. Capital offenses. Do not allow a sorceress to live. Whoever has sexual intercourse with an animal must be put to death. Whoever sacrifices to any gods except the Lord alone is to be set apart for destruction. So those are, setting clear lines, clear boundaries. Love it. Laws protecting the vulnerable. You must not exploit a resident alien or oppress him, since you were resident aliens in the land of Egypt. You must not mistreat any widow or fatherless child. If you do mistreat them, they will do no doubt cry to me, and I will certainly hear their cry. My anger will burn, and I will kill you with the sword. Then your wives will be widows and your children fatherless. If you lend silver to my people, to the poor person among you, you must not be like a creditor to him. You must not charge him interest. If you ever take your neighbor's cloak as collateral, return it to him before sunset, for it is his own covering. It is the clothing for his body. What will he sleep in? And if he cries out to me, I will listen, because I am gracious. So care matters. God is, he's not only is he laying down these capital offense laws, but he's also looking out for the little guy. He's, making sure that everybody is protected. Don't exploit the resident alien. Yeah, he may seem like an outsider, but you guys were outsiders too. Don't you forget. So it's nice to be able to get that reminder as well. Respect for God. You must not blaspheme God or curse a leader among your people. You must not hold back offerings from your harvest or your vats. Give me the firstborn of your sons. Do the same with your cattle and your flock. Let them stay with your mothers for 7 days, but on the 8th day, you are to give them to me. Be my holy people. You must not eat the meat of a mauled animal found in the field. Throw it to the dogs. That's some pretty serious stuff. Respect me. I am the only true God. I will be respected. I command your respect, and you will respect. Gotta love it. All right, let's keep going. Chapter 23. Chapter 23. Laws about honesty and justice. You must not spread a false report. Do not join the wicked to be a malicious witness. You must not follow a crowd in wrongdoing. Do not justify in a lawsuit and go along with a crowd to pervert justice. Do not show favoritism to a poor person in his lawsuit. If you come across your enemy's stray ox or donkey, you must return it to him. If you see the donkey of someone who hates you lying helpless under its load and you want to refrain from helping it, you must help with it. You must not deny justice to a poor person among you in his lawsuit. Stay far away from a false accusation. Do not kill the innocent and the just, because I will not justify the guilty. You must not take a bribe, for a bribe blinds the clear-sighted and corrupts the words of the righteous. You must not oppress a resident alien. You yourselves know how it feels to be a resident alien, because you were resident aliens in the land of Egypt. So again, he's saying, do the right thing no matter what it takes. And I think that's a beautiful reminder. We still need that. Like, do the right thing. Do the right thing. It's still a good thing to do the right thing. Right. Sabbaths and festivals. Sow your land for 6 years and gather its produce. But during the 7th year, you are to let it rest and leave it uncultivated, so that the poor among your people may eat from it and the wild animals may consume what they leave. Do the same with your vineyard and your oil grove. Do your work for 6 days and rest on the seventh day, so that your ox and your donkey may rest, and the son of your female slaves, as well as the resident alien, may be refreshed. Again, rest is important. He is building it into our daily cycle, into our daily lives. Don't skimp out on your rest. Pay strict attention to everything I have said to you. You must not invoke the names of other gods. They must not be heard on your lips. Celebrate a festival in my honor 3 times a year. Observe the festival of unleavened bread. As I commanded you, you are to eat unleavened bread for 7 days at the appointed time in the month of Abib, because you came out of Egypt in that month. No one is to appear before me empty-handed. Also observe the festival of harvest with the first fruits of your produce from what you sow in the field, and observe the festival of ingathering at the end of the year, when you gather your produce from the field. 3 times a year all your males are to appear before the Lord God. You must not offer the blood of my sacrifices with anything leavened. The fat of my festival offering must not remain until morning. Bring us the best of the first fruits of your land to the house of the Lord your God. You must not boil a young goat in its mother's milk. So there's no blending. There's a lot of rules there about, Sabbaths and festivals, and these are just the commandments that God is basically telling the people. Like I said, for them to, the judges to be able to make better judgments, if that makes sense. At least that's how I feel it. It is. I could be completely wrong, and that's okay, because again, I am not a certified scholar. I am not a biblical scholar. I am not a theologian in any type of way. I'm just a normal person who is reading through the Bible and picking up on things as I go along. So, yeah, that's where I'm at. All right. Promises and warnings. I am going to send an angel before you to protect you on the way and bring you to the place I have prepared. So, again, God is going first. He is sending an angel first. He is scoping it out. Be attentive to him and listen to him. Do not defy him, because he will not forgive your acts of rebellion. For my name is in him. But if you will carefully obey him and do everything I say, then I will be an enemy to your enemies and a foe to your foes. For my angel, I will go before you and bring you to the land of the Amorites, Hittites, Perizzites, Canaanites, Hivites, and Jebusites, and I will wipe them out. Do not bow and worship to their gods, and do not serve them. Do not imitate their practices. Instead, demolish them and smash their sacred pillars to pieces. All right. I like this, God. God has said, burn it down. Make all those things go away. Serve the Lord your God, and he will bless you, your bread and your water. I will remove illnesses from you. No woman will miscarry or be childless in your land. I will give you the full number of your days. I will cause the people ahead of you to feel terror and feel thrown into confusion all the nations you come to. I will make all your enemies turn their backs to you in retreat. I will send hornets in front of you, and they will drive the Hivites, Canaanites, and Hittites away from you. I will not drive them ahead of you in a single year. Otherwise, the land will become desolate, and wild animals would multiply against you. I will drive them out little by little ahead of you until you have become numerous and take possession of the land. And that's big. It is little by little. It is a gradual growth. It is not all at once, because God knows that he can't handle it all at once. If trying to upgrade infrastructure and housing and all of that for these people, it's going to be too much. So driving them out little by little until you have become numerous and take possession of the land. So little by little, as the other people, start dying off, then they'll slowly be able to trickle in. Love it. I will set your borders from the Red Sea to the Mediterranean Sea, and from the wilderness to the Euphrates River. For I will place the inhabitants of the land under your control, and you will drive them out ahead of you. You must not make a covenant with them or their gods. They must not remain in your land, or else they will make you sin against me. If you serve their gods, it will be a snare for you. Again, no shortcuts. God is not asking for shortcuts. He wants immediate obedience so that he can bless you abundantly. So that's why he laid out all of these rules, all of these, so that like this is the way I'm asking you to live. and it's for your own good. And yeah. All right, let's keep going. This is our last chapter. Actually, yeah, this is our last chapter of today. Wow, we kind of flew through it. Kind of can't believe it's already been an hour and 40 minutes, but it has. All right, last chapter. This is where we'll close today. Before we get into the tabernacle, it's going to be a good one on Sunday, so don't miss it. Here on my channel at noon Eastern, we're going to be digging into the tabernacle. I've already started to dig into it, and there's a lot of specificity, but I read this. I'll read the devotional that is in this Bible that I'm reading from. I thought it was beautiful and really well said, and I think a great way to kind of think of Exodus, because right now it just seems like a lot of rules and just like, okay, do this, and don't do this, and do this, but also I don't want you to do this. I don't want you to eat that. You can't do this, and just it feels like God is putting a lot of stipulations and rules and boundaries on what we can and can't do. But this the he does it for a reason. There's a plan, and I know most people don't like to hear it, but we got to trust the plan. It is what it is. All right, chapter 24, our last chapter of today. This is the covenant ceremony. Then he said to Moses, "Go up to the Lord, you and Aaron, Nadab and Abihu, and 70 of Israel's elders, and bow in worship at a distance. Moses alone is to approach the Lord, but the others are not to approach, and the people are not to go up with him." Moses came and told the people all the commands of the Lord and all the ordinances. Then all the people responded with a single voice, "We will do everything that the Lord has commanded." Immediate obedience. Good job, people. You guys did it. As Moses wrote down all the words of the Lord, he rose early the next morning and set up an altar and 12 pillars for the 12 tribes of Israel at the base of the mountain. Then he sent out young Israelite men and then offered burnt offerings and sacrificed bulls as fellowship offerings to the Lord. If anybody has any insight on that, please let me know. Why bulls specifically? He obviously, we've seen sacrificial lambs, we've seen goats, we've seen, I think, oxen. But this one is specifically bulls. Is there a reasoning for that? I'll look it up once I'm done reading this chapter, but if anybody knows the answer to that, feel free to throw that in the chat if you guys don't mind. Okay, Moses took half of the blood and set it in basins. The other half of the blood he splattered on the altar. He then took the covenant scroll and read it aloud to the people. They responded, "We will do and obey all that the Lord has commanded." Moses took the blood, splattered it on the people, and said, "This is the blood of the covenant that the Lord has made with you concerning all these words." Then Moses went up with Aaron, Nadab, and Abihu, and 70 of Israel's elders, and they saw the God of Israel. Beneath his feet was something like a pavement made out of lapis lazuli, as clear as the sky itself. God did not harm the Israelite nobles. They saw him and they ate and drank. And that's huge. That is a grace moment. Not only, the whole blood thing, they scattered the blood. That's the covenant being sealed. And, the grace moment where they all got to see the face of God. Not everyone gets to do that. So the fact that they were so special enough to be able to see that, huge for them. The Lord said to Moses, "Come up to me on the mountain and stay there so that I may give you the stone tablets with the law and commandments I have written for their instruction." So Moses arose with his assistant Joshua and went up the mountain of God. He told the elders, "Wait here for us until we return. Aaron and Hur are here with you. Whoever has a dispute should go to them." When Moses went up the mountain, the cloud covered it. The glory of the Lord settled on Mount Sinai, and the cloud covered it for 6 days. On the 7th day, he called to Moses from the cloud. The appearance of the Lord's glory to the Israelites was like a consuming fire on the mountaintop. Moses entered the cloud as he went up the mountain and remained on the mountain 40 days and 40 nights. So that's the same, that 40 days and 40 nights is the same thing with Noah when he was getting when he was actually doing the the flood, so 40 days and 40 nights, 40 days and 40 nights with Moses. I believe that Jesus was in the wilderness for 40 days, like for when he was in the wilderness. If I'm not mistaken, I think that's what it is. Um but yeah, 40 days and 40 nights. That's a big number. Big deal. But anyways, that is our Bible studying lesson readings for this evening. I hope that you guys enjoyed that. Thank you guys so much for being here. This is always a fun time for me. I, don't always get to do something like this. So getting to share this time with you guys and getting to spread the word of God is an absolute honor and a pleasure. And I'm so excited and honored that I get to do this with you guys every single week. But before we head out of here, I want to give a quick pause and I want to where oh snap, I forgot to load it. Give me a quick second while I load this thing in here. Um so yeah, thank you guys for being here. One more ad before we head out. So yeah, quick pause. I just wanted to let you guys know that if you're still using products filled with mystery ingredients you can't pronounce, this is your sign. I want to talk about All Good, a small business, obviously by Jessica Storm, whom we all know and love. And their products are made with grass-fed tallow and clean, intentional ingredients that actually nourish your skin and hair instead of fighting against it. Right now, they've put together these Valentine's bundles so that you can give your Valentine the all good treatment, whether that's glow up skincare, hair care, or something for the guys too. And here's the best part, when you buy any bundle and use my code Jackie, not only do you get 5% off, but you also get a free sample of their tallow sunscreen. No weird chemicals, no overpowering scents, just simple, effective, feel good products that actually work. You can scan the barcode or the QR code on screen or head to goallgood.com and use code Jackie and treat yourself or someone you love to something that's actually good for your body. Your skin will thank you. So, of course, all you have to do is use, and actually, let me pull this off so that you guys can see the full graphic, but buy one of these 5 bundles and use my code Jackie. You'll get 5% off, but you will also get a all good tallow sunscreen in with your purchase. And all you have to do is use my code Jackie. That's it. And that code is good through Valentine's Day. So make sure to shop your all good, stock up on that. Share some with your loved ones, whether it be a mom, your girl, your man, your your dad, your mom, whoever it is. Everybody deserves some all good. So make sure to send it to them. But I have already checked. It doesn't look like I got any rants or coffees. So that'll be it. I love you guys. I will see you guys on Sunday for Bible study for Overthinkers. We're going to continue on with chapter 25 through, I don't really remember what the rest of it is on Sunday. But on Saturday, we are doing Hooks and Harmony, and you guys are in charge of the playlist. If you guys haven't already submitted some of your fun picks, this week's topic or theme is going to be what were those songs lyrics? Like just songs that you know that you messed up the song lyrics to and didn't realize it, still loved it. And yeah, so make sure to send in those submissions. I'm not going to be able to play all of the submissions, but we'll put together a good show for sure. But you can submit those on X starting tomorrow. But if you guys haven't already, those in my inner circle, which is on Telegram, can start and have already started submitting some really good songs. So it's going to be a really good show this Saturday here on my channel, 3 p.m. Eastern. I have a feeling that probably tomorrow I'll go live for maybe an hour or two to just kind of if you're a Rumble Premium user, I'm gonna go live sometime tomorrow. Probably from 5 or 6 o'clock ish, maybe earlier. I don't know, but I'm gonna go live at some point using Rumble Premium, Rumble Studio. to get some premium hours. I'm just going to be what I've decided for this month, what I'm going to do is I'm going to be crocheting live on air. I'm gonna like change, or you're just gonna like move the camera so that it's just like POV of the actual crocheting so that you can see the stitches and everything as I go along. So that'll be fun. I hope that you guys, if you guys are a Rumble Premium subscriber, you will be able to view that and enjoy that. There's gonna be some nice music and just a chill vibe. So if you are a crafter like me, you guys can use that time to come and share your crafting. And I'll share my crafting with you guys. So love you guys. Thank you again for being here. Make sure to hit that thumbs up. Share this show out with a friend. And also for those that don't already know, if you want to continue to share this Bible study with others and they are not on Rumble or YouTube, and prefer to listen to audio only podcasts for the most part, I do have my Bible study now on Spotify and on Apple Podcasts. So they can just listen to the audio. And I think on Spotify, you can view it as well. So if you are interested in that, you can look up, I think you can just search Bible study for overthinkers, and the same, the screen thing, the thumbnail, that's the word. The thumbnail that you see here will be the same thumbnail that you will see over there. And if for those that are not sure what that looks like, this is the thumbnail. As soon as it loads, here's the thumbnail. So that's the thumbnail that will be for people to see, and that will let you know that you're in the right place. But love you guys. Thank you. God bless you. Have a great night. I will see you tomorrow at some point, maybe. And definitely this weekend for Hooks and Harmony. We got Bible study for Overthinkers on Sunday at noon. And then we're doing a season 2 recap episode of The Chosen on the Good Book Sessions on Sunday night. So love you guys. God bless you and have a good one.